G'day and welcome back to my backyard renovation project. In this episode I'm building this black base that you see here in this illustration, and it's been a while, so I'll go over the project a little bit more. In summary, the overall goal of this whole project is to raise up the level of the grass, which is currently covered in rubbish, and level it off and make it into a kind of a nice grassed courtyard with some paving and some chairs and stuff. The height extension of the retaining wall was completed earlier this year, and now I'm working on the privacy screen that I pulled down in order to get that work done. The purpose of the base is threefold. From a functional point of view, it provides a solid base for the posts of the privacy screen to mount to, and it conceals the row of retaining posts. From a design perspective, it closes in the yard and gives it more of a solid, stable feeling and makes it feel more like a courtyard. The black tinted oil timbers tie it together with a fence down the other end, and there's another kind of a veranda thing at the other end, which I'll show you later on in the video. The visual design for this part of the project has been part of the concept from the beginning, but it took me a while to figure out the mechanical fixing for this base. I was working off the lessons of the previous version of the base and the experience of seeing it deteriorate over the last 10 years that I've lived in this house. The old one had some really weird toenailed boards in holding the screen up. The base was fine, but it started to suffer from rot where the trellis screens were in contact directly with the base. So, having the benefit of hindsight, in this video I'll show you all of the solutions that I've come up with to solve the problems of the last 20 years. The previous base was constructed about 20 years ago, give or take, and my version hopefully will last at least that long. The old base consists of a bunch of these boards nailed onto the retaining posts, capped off with a 200 by 50 board. There's a bunch of these weird toenail little things in there which offset these posts, which go up behind the back of the cap and hold the trellis screens on. One of the main problems is that everything's nailed together. Over the last 20 years these nails have all started to sag, and these boards are kind of falling off or tilting to the side, or in some cases just pulling completely out of their position. I have to admit, when I first saw that I was like, what the frick is going on here? I just hope my design doesn't invoke the same reaction from the next guy. Alright, so this is the solution I came up with. So first of all, I didn't want to use nails. I wanted to use something stronger and more enduring. I want to say these are tough as nails, but they are in fact way more tough than nails. Imagining that this is a post, one of the retaining wall posts, I used a power planer to make a level spot on the top of the post. I'm then able to put a piece of timber on its side on that level spot. This is the piece of timber where I attach my base cap to. And the reason why I wanted this sideways was so that I can have my screws going into side grain, not end grain. I attach this piece of timber to the post. I then attach my horizontal piece of timber to the vertical one. I can now attach my base cap to the top, screwing down into side grain, and I can attach my base front into this edge grain. The main thing I wanted to avoid was using skinny little nails going into end grain and expecting that to stay put for 20 years. Just a little side note on the span screws here. These are pretty big mothers for this little subcompact impact. I didn't really want to blow it up or burn out the hammers here, so that's why you see me drilling pilot holes for these. I didn't in the beginning of the project, but man, this thing gets freaking hot, and I want it to survive. I ain't got 350 bucks for a new one, so that's why. And I'll just show you a little bit of the end of the garden there. There's this little veranda kind of thing, kind of a deck. And I put up another screen kind of like that other fence down the other end, and I'll just show you a little bit before the end of the video. And there's a bit of a story to that. I had to go traipsing off halfway down the other end of the country to pick up the timber for it. So we'll cover that in another story, another episode. All right, peace out, guys. Peace out.